Borrowing Her Lodger's Vibrator, Milf's Threesomes 18, FFM Threesome Erotica, written by Nicki Menage, narrated by Kline. Borrowing Her Lodger's Vibrator, Milf's Threesomes 18, FFM Threesome Erotica. Martha didn't often get the chance to enjoy herself sexually. To her husband, Dean, she was merely a vessel for him to use whenever the moment took him, and Martha hadn't enjoyed sex for some time. Because of this, she'd invested in a vibrator, but the moments that she could use it were few and far between. With her 19-year-old lodger, Ellis, just down the hall from her bedroom, and her 20-year-old lodger, Connor, in the bedroom opposite, alone time was a phrase that Martha didn't even know existed. Aside from this, was the fact that her husband was rarely out of the house without Martha. But tonight was one of those occasions. Dean had stayed late after work for the annual Christmas party, which, for whatever reason, was held in September. Martha knew Dean would be on the sauce and wouldn't be back until late. Ellis and Connor were both in their rooms, and they rarely stirred after 10 o'clock, a fact that Martha was keen to exploit. At first, she sat on the bed quietly, listening for any sign that either of them were awake. None came. She moved a hand into the top drawer of her dresser and reached over her panties to the concealed toy beyond. Martha knew it'd be safe there. Dean never did the laundry. If he'd found the toy, the two of them would face a very uncomfortable conversation. Martha studied the long, sleek cylinder that had brought her so much joy. It was made of a kind of purple rubber and had 5 speed settings, as well as a bunch of ball bearings that circled the shaft and crown of the device. A forked plastic tongue curled back over, designed to jostle a clit to orgasm. Martha could attest that it worked perfectly. She closed her eyes. The house sounded silent enough. Ellis and Connor were often asleep before midnight. Martha knew because she'd stayed up late often, keen to limit the time she was forced to lie next to her husband. She turned the device on and swallowed hard. At first, she coaxed it around the outside of her crotch, teasing herself and building up her juices so that she could take the toy as it was intended. It took only a minute or so of teasing before Martha's pussy was soaking wet. It was one thing she'd never struggled to achieve when truly turned on. Dean rarely got her there. "Oh, gosh," Martha hushed, finally treating herself to the whirring toy. It vibrated along her folds, and all her thoughts fell by the wayside.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?